Morning peeps, hope you're good. Today is the day where we try and get started on this kitchen. Now we've done all the roof and everything. So today the plan, well, I already last night did this door that was fitting terribly. So there's massive gaps around it, and we're like, why have we put loads of nice double glazing in to then have this, albeit a single glazed door, just not fit very good. So you can see there, that is how much I've had to add on to the frame to make it fit right. We're gonna obviously paint over it and fill it so that it looks right, but yeah, additionally you can see how badly it was fitted. In terms of that dark bit that you can see is obviously where it wasn't fitting right. So now I've had to add a bit on to the bottom, so now it fits with no gap at all, which is really cool. Just, I love and the handle wasn't fitted right either. I mean, it's not a great handle. We're living with it. So look at these dogs. What do you want? I wasn't going out. They thought I was going out. Do you want to go out or do you want to come in? Coming in. There you go. I wasn't going out. So that's another job. I love little jobs that you can do like in a half hour, and it just makes you feel like you've got made an accomplishment. So yeah, today is job is to figure out these electrics. Just find out where the wire is that goes from our box up in there to these sockets. Got a feeling it's this one, but I don't exactly know, because there's no, unlike everywhere else in the house that's got surface mounted wires, the kitchen doesn't. So we need to figure that out carefully, because I don't want to go banging in walls, obviously, drilling in walls before I know where wires are and stuff. So, and also I think this is just a farmer thing, but this wire is 4mm wire, which you don't use generally on a ring main, and as you can see, someone's used it as a ring main. So I need to figure that out too. I've got a feeling I know why. Probably because it was done by the farmer before, and he bought a roll of cable, and he, in some point, has installed in this corner a cooker point, which I gather he would have found out he ideally needed to put 4mm wire to on its own. However, what I think he might have done is, rather than run a wire to that on its own, decided to add it to the ring main, but beef up the ring main to the kitchen, and did it all in 4mm cable, which is a very OTT. So need to figure that out really. Once I've figured that out, I'm hoping I'm going to find 3 wires in this box, which will have been rammed in there if they are, because 3 wires in a 4mm 2-gang socket is a bit interesting. But if that's the case, then we're just going to put it to 2.5 and leave the 4 if it is behind this wall, because I don't want to strip out the wall. And then the plan today is to take off all of this loose stuff, and we're just going to, we decided, like, do we take all these tiles off and replaster and all that kind of stuff. But part of it is already cladded, like in here is, and Janitha quite likes the look of it. Kind of got that country look. So what we've decided to do is to clad up to as high as we can. So maybe like, I forget how long we bought them, but yeah, we're going to clad this wall, which a plus side of that means we can put insulation in the wall. Before I do that, I've got to tank the wall as well, because as we've mentioned in previous videos, the floor height, the other side of this window, although we took it down, it was like, probably, we reckon, like here. We still reckon it's probably here. So I'm just going to tank this section of the wall as well, so that there's no chance of getting any moisture in. Hi. Are you saying hi? You're gonna say hi to them all. Look at the camera. There it is. Hey. So yeah, gonna do that. Once I've put the tanking on, obviously it needs to dry out well, and then I can put the cladding in, and we'll insulate in it as well, so that a good majority of the wall is also insulated, which will be also great. So yeah, just thought I'd show you where I started. All right, cheers, bye. Here we go, peeps. Made a mess. So haven't yet got to the bottom of the wiring. Wasn't what I thought. So fair play to whoever did it before. Must have done it reasonably properly, but the cooker socket is separate to the kitchen ring main, which is good. But I haven't yet managed to trace where this wire does come from. It doesn't go up there like I thought it might have done, because that would have been the obvious route. So it goes into the wall here, and we know that the previous owners put plasterboard on this wall because of how like crooked the wall was, just to make it flat. At least that's what this said. So we've got this kind of going all the way along the length of the kitchen, this enclosed off bit with plasterboard, and you can't remember what's behind it, so might shove a hole into that while we're doing it and just see what that is. If it's a wooden beam, it's flipping long. Yeah, don't know. So the only other switch I haven't been able to get is the one that is behind this. You can't see it. It's the one behind this fridge, so I've got to move the fridge in a bit. But anyway, what I've been up to, I'm going to tank this now. I've just been taking off all the loose stuff, as you can see, and then trying to get it to resemble some sort of straight, which is almost impossible in an old house like this. But the wall actually has a high point here in the middle, and everywhere else around it is a low point. So I've been trying to chip off layers and layers, as you can see. It's been all sorts. It's been green, it's been beige, it's got normal plaster there, it's got lime plaster there, it's got base plaster there. It's been red, so it's got loads and loads of layers of previous works, I guess. So, but as you can see down here where this is dull, you can see that line. So this is where it's not wet, but you can feel that there's just a bit of moisture there compared to the rest of the wall. So that is probably, now I've chipped a load of it off, where we're still below the soil line on the outside, or the ground level on the outside. So we're just going to, yeah, as I say, tank it so that none of that moisture can get in anymore. And then, yeah, we'll get paneling, but it's going to be interesting paneling, but it will mean some of you might be asking why we're paneling, because we could just plaster and make do with the higgledy-piggledy wall, but it will mean that again, for the reason that they've probably plasterboarded that, it will mean we'll have a flat wall as well, so I'll be able to batten it, which will be interesting anyway, but batten it and pack it out so that we have a straight bit here. What we might end up with is a slightly extended lip here, because we're going to use it to submerse, indent, or whatever the word is, the sockets into it rather than be surface mounted. So we will end up with a small shelf, which we'll probably make use of to put stuff on, but we'll make it look cottagey. So yeah, just thought I'd show you my mess, and I'm just going to go up. Cheers, mate. Hey guys, this is a few days later. Didn't quite have enough content for a video last week, so we finished the wall, but I won't show that for the time being. But yes, the saga of the kitchen unfolds further. I did get and finish tanking this wall, which is good. Had 2 coats of that. As you'll see, we've now just moved all this stuff and cleared this wall, because with today we think we know, we're taking all this plasterboard down, which is pretty major considering it is the biggest wall of the kitchen. But as I said to you in the last video, we knew that the previous guys had just put this up to supposedly make the wall flat, which we now know to be true. But I think I also mentioned in the other video that we're going to drill some holes to see what's behind it, and to find out what this was up here. So we've done that, and as a result, we've decided to bite the bullet and give this wall some major attention whilst we're in the throes of mess and doing this kitchen out, so I don't want to do it twice. So the first thing is that we have found the wooden beam in here, which must stretch from one side of the kitchen to the other, which means it's flipping long. So really, for peace of mind, you want to uncover this to see what that beam is actually supporting up the top. From measuring upstairs in the bedroom above, can't see that it may be only supporting a very small chimney breast. Doesn't quite make sense completely. And we know that with old houses like this from other videos and stuff online, that sometimes these long beams can go in the wall areas because they get damp and the ends get damp. And with this being such a long beam, I want to know that this beam is sound. And also, Janitha quite likes the idea of having a big old beam in the kitchen as a feature, and it has, you can see, had plasterboard on it before. So anyway, we're going to take all that off. But the reason why we're going to do the whole wall, and not just that bit, is because we've discovered that behind this wall is actually quite a big gap. And when I say quite a big gap, it's a really big gap. Where to show you first. So yeah, in the middle here, we have 7 inches to the front face of this wall, which is loads. 7 inches is loads to lose out your kitchen. Interestingly, over here, we've got 8 inches. So the wall is definitely not flat by any stretch. What's really interesting, where was the other one that was, behind here, this one, it's more like 12, 13 inches. Loads. And then over this side, so we kind of went a bit ham on the old holes. We've got 5 inches. So it is definitely a wonky wall, but that is an awful lot of space to lose out of your kitchen. So we're going to, also, the other thing that we discovered is in taking these off, was that it's like a fridge behind there. The void in here is really cold, like a fridge. And so this whole wall is not helping us keep this kitchen warm because it's not insulated. And the reason it matters is because the floor level into the old part of the house is the kind of the level of this radiator. Is it about there? A bit higher. So nearly half of this wall has a ground level up it. So again, there's going to be damp, like here. There's going to be damp air where that is, because they didn't obviously have anything other than stones back in the day, or slate. So yeah, we're kind of feeling like this whole bit needs to be waterproofed as well. So it's a massive job. Genevieve's took the day off today to help me do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to strip off the plasterboard, make sense for all the wires and pipes that are behind it, and then hopefully rotate the joists that are behind it so that we can gain maybe like 4 inches off of the wall. And then we'll insulate it with fiberboard, like the proper Kingspan Celotex type stuff. 50mm insulation inside, and then we'll replaster it over the top, plasterboard it over the top. So that's the plan. we've got some, again, take the opportunity, we know there's some big wires and stuff that go at the top, and this radiator we won't need in here because we're going to go for a R-grade type thing, as we said before, so this radiator can come out and the pipework can come out as well at the same time. So that's the plan. So we won't video the whole thing, I'll probably just time lapse it so you can see, but that is what we're doing now. So see you the other side, I guess. All right, cheers, bye. Hey, so at the other side, there you go. Most of the wall is the plasterboard anyway, it's gone, enabling us to see what's behind. The wall definitely isn't very straight as you'd expect with a house like this. Just giving us some food for thought here. We know that so some things we've observed is there's an awful lot of uprights in this wall, which could just be an over-engineering type thing, but kind of got me wondering whether this thing is helping support above, and I'll show you why. But anyway, see here, look, we've found a bit of brick up here. Now we've got the old part of the house there, and there is, we know that the floor level is kind of here. And we kind of suspected there's a toilet on the other side of this wall in my workshop, but it kind of looked like a doorway. And now we found brick. I think that was possible, maybe at some point, because the brick does come to here, over to here. It's possible that I mean, that definitely marries up with what's next door. So it's possible that, I'm going to keep saying possible. But yeah, there was at some point a doorway into the old part of the house, which is interesting. You can see how wonky the wall is as we go along here. And then we come to this bit, which is really deep. Now this does marry with what's upstairs. So I'm actually thankful that we now know that there isn't any wall upstairs that's not been supported, which is really good. However, look, massive stone there, look. It's just been painted at some point. Anyway, however, I need the torch to show you. I'm just debating whether this wall is actually doing a job. Again, there are a lot of uprights in it. Probably don't need that many for what it's doing in terms of just being effectively a false wall. However, I've seen up in this corner that there is this section here. Oh, look, spider. There's a 4x2 there that runs out, I think, underneath this beam, which would say to me that either it's just an over-engineered way of making sure this wall stays here, or they've for some reasons made this wall able to carry some of the weight of this beam. Obviously, with the wall being further in than the beam, what could have, I guess, happened if the beam was going to need some help, would that it would kind of tilt downwards. So could be that these bits at the top there would obviously prevent that from happening. So what they've effectively done is created like a T-piece where this wall is in the middle, and it's just possibly giving this beam a helping hand, because we can see right up here that that is the floor upstairs. So the joists go at right angles to this wall. and that is part of the floor upstairs. So good to see the end of these joists and see that they're okay. But again, do we want to find out? Does Janitha want to find out? With a doggy that's like, I have no idea what's going on. What are you doing to my house? So I think the only solution, probably, is to uncover the beam and see what's going on. The reason I'm reticent to do that, because at the moment, hesitating, should I say, not reticent, is at the minute we're at the point where we could just tank this wall, insulate it, and plasterboard it back over without too much stress. But yeah, what is also interesting that we found is this, as you can see, big hole. So that I know goes into the old chimney of the house next door, and would be where the Rayburn, I guess, oil filled, because it's, or solid fuel even, went up into the next door's chimney, because there isn't a chimney in the kitchen, so why not make use of the house next door's one. Do know that that's been uncovered for quite a while, and as you can see, it has caused moisture to run down this wall and a little bit into the wood. It's okay, it is okay, that's just a recycled bit. But good job we also found that, so that we can block that up. And when we tank this, in fact I've already put a cover over the chimney now, so that will stop any water, rain coming down the chimney. It does mean that we can rectify this and stop that from being a drafty bit into the back of the wall. So I think what I'm going to do now, because I need to find out where some of these pipes and stuff come, is keep going, take some of this, this is a long 6 minutes, sorry. Take some of this plasterboard off and see what's going on with this beam. So I'll come back to you. Bye. So we did it, as you've probably, if you've seen. Need to brush it. So I'm kind of reasonably happy now that these bits are just to hold the wall straight. So they're not doing anything in terms of any sort of support. So just, again, this wall is kind of, I think, a bit overkill for some reason. So the beam, as you can see, I'm going to show you how, as we know from up in the roof, this wasn't engineered wood, it was just a tree trunk. So look what a lovely black here. So yeah, this is very long. Yes, we know this is like 4 meters long, right? So that's also very long to support the floor, but the floor upstairs does not bounce. So they've done it something right. You can see, like here, the beam is up in, like it's just there. And then over there is like a inch gap. Let me show you. But interestingly, like you'd look at it first of all and go, ugh, the beam's bowed. But it isn't, because actually there's still quite a lot of wood there. It's just, that's the curve of the tree trunk. So they've packed it out to make up for that, you know, like we saw in the loft, where they notch out or they pack out, depending on how wonky the tree trunk is, I guess. It's just incredible that they didn't think to put anything in the middle. So just like, oh yeah, that'll be fine. We know that a tree trunk can take that. Mental.
It does.
Just pass the torch. The only concern we did have was that we, as I mentioned before, that there is a chimney breast upstairs. We were kind of short 3 or 4 inches, and where we were measuring this wall to upstairs, and we figured out why, because it is short. Can you see there that it goes from beam to slate, and the slate continues there. Well, that's one of them packings, and that there is stone, and it continues to there, if you can see this. Now that stone, I can't see the top of it, so it must be 6 inches deep, but that would explain why there's a really small portion, like from middle of this beam to this one, really like maybe 3 foot bit of the chimney breast upstairs that's protruding, and we couldn't figure out because it is protruding, but it's supported by slate and stone. So that's good to know. Good to be able to confirm in the reports as and when we might move on from this place that everything is sound. So yeah, we've got to this point now, fairly happy that this wall is not helping this beam. So Janita still wants to expose this beam. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to take off some of this frame and but pause for lunch. So this is probably going to be the end of this part 1. I know I'm not very good at part 1 than part 2s because you still haven't seen part 2 of the fireplace. But I think this is going to be quite long. So we'll stop it there, and we're going to have some lunch and think about it, and then I'll still film and we'll come back to you probably in another part. All right, signing off. Stay safe. Cheers. Bye.